him.
Oh, he is. For now on, I told my husband, I said, for now on, he is scrubbing all the underwear that he does streaks in. Because I remember like when we first started potty training and he would really get them like really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Like every once in a while, Tim would throw them out. I have thrown out a couple pairs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, hon, you can't throw out every fucking pair of underwear. Like they're not cheap. Like you have to scrub them and soak them. Like you're just gonna
It's a shitty situation, but you got to do what you got to do.
So, it was good. Then it was bad. Then it was good. Just like your regular life, just ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And so, what is your ups and downs other than in the bedroom?
Oh, what? Did I just miss something? Yeah. So we didn't have a shitty week, but we had a sick week, a week of sicknesses, which we actually almost didn't make it to your party. It started off with,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, it started off with Aria, who was sick and she didn't feel good and she had a bellyache.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, seriously. But I mean, I guess it could be worse because I know everyone's been getting sick for a long time, and this is just like the first time that she's gotten sick. So she tells me on Friday Thursday night, she started not feeling well. And she woke up, she had a stomach ache, and she loves school. So for her to say she doesn't want to go to school, it's like she must really be sick.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, I'm going to go. But I could see, like, in her little face that she
little
was just
pitiful eyes.
She's like, well, maybe I could just ask my teacher if maybe I don't have to run outside today.
Aww.
And maybe I could just sit out on the side for playtime. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you don't have to go to school if you don't feel good. And she's like, no, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm like, okay, are you sure? So went over this whole thing again and again. So she's going to go to school. So Logan's like, I think I'm not feeling so good. I'm like, you are fine. You are going to school. I'm like, and I better not get a phone call from you halfway through the school day that you're not feeling well, because you are perfectly fine, my friend.
Let's go. Saddle up.
So we're on the way to school, and she's like, I don't think I should go to school. So I'm like, okay, if you don't want to go to school because you're sick, it's fine. So she ends up staying home. I would say maybe like an hour into it, she has to go. She has diarrhea.
Aww.
Yeah, delightful. Sorry, guys. So she goes, and right after that, she throws up. So I was like, here we go. Here's a sickness. Got to deal with this. And then I was like, guess we're not going to Diane's birthday party tomorrow night.
Super bummed when I heard about this.
So I let her.
Because my thought was like, here we go, Christina and Ed's gonna get it, because you know how it spreads so easily.
So, but no, that was it. That was the one and only time that she threw up and diarrheaed. So,
I mean, it's not awesome that she had diarrhea and threw up, but
yeah. But I mean, she still throughout the day she wasn't feeling good, and then we were supposed to go to my mom's house for my brother's birthday that night. So I was like, I'm not sure if we're gonna come because she's not feeling good. Whatever. But then by the time it came to go, she was fine. So I'm like, all right, we'll go.
Yeah.
So we ended up going, and then by the time we got home, she's like, I don't feel good again. So I'm like, oh, great. So she slept the next day. She slept until like 9 o'clock, which is late for her.
Wow.
And then by 10 o'clock, she went to go and eat breakfast, and she had like 2 like little muffins, like those little mini muffins.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't feel so good. I'm like, all right, you don't have to eat it. I'm like, just go lay down on the couch. And before I knew it, it was like, usually I say go lay down, but nobody ever goes to fucking lay down.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was like maybe like 20 minutes had gone by. I was like, where's Aria? I look on the couch. She's sleeping. I was like, oh, okay. So she fell asleep around like 10:30. And she didn't wake up until like 2 o'clock. So you and our friend were texting me like, oh, do you think you're going to come? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Not looking good, though. I mean, usually, like, you got to be pretty fucking sick to sleep. Like, you just slept all night. We're awake for an hour. And then you sleep again for 4 hours. So, no, she woke up. She was, like, perfectly fine. Like, nothing ever happened. So I asked my mom, was like, she had already told me earlier while she was sleeping, like, if she's acting fine, it's, just bring her.
Yeah.
So I felt bad, but she was acting fine. So, and she ended up being perfectly fine.
That's great.
The rest of the night. So then we got through that. We went to the party. And then Sunday afternoon, I get a phone call from my mom about Logan. And I'm like, fuck, now he's got it. But no, it turns out that she was giving him a haircut. And mid-haircut, he passed out.
insane.
Yes.
Did he like fall on the floor or anything?
Yeah, he fell.
He did.
Yeah, he fell. I mean, she like caught him, but as she caught him,
That's crazy.
The buzzer went straight through his head.
Oh, no.
So his like perfectly adorable haircut that he has. I mean, not that she didn't do it on purpose, and
No,
it's
of
like
course
not
not.
the takeaway from it. But
Yeah.
his perfectly cute little parted to the side haircut and shaved sides is gone. He's now got one buzzed haircut.
Aww.
Anyway, so
It'll grow back.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told him, but because he's like, oh, somebody at school told me that I look like I'm bald, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm like, it'll grow back.
Yeah,
I felt bad, but anyway, so with the whole migraine thing, she said that he was saying that he had a 5 out of, because we have him range it from like 1 to 5, the pain.
Yeah.
So he said it was a 5 out of a 5. He wasn't able to breathe. He had shortness of breath because he has asthma on top of it. And he was dizzy on top of that. So we took him to the emergency room. And I'm kind of annoyed about the whole emergency room thing, because I took him to the emergency room because he had all of those things together. They treated him that he fainted. And that was it. And I was like, that's not the only reason that I brought him here. And we specifically went like into Raleigh as opposed to going over here, like to go to a children's hospital where they had, like, where they'd be able to like focus more in on children. So I don't know. I was kind of like a little bit annoyed with like the doctors. She was like, as soon as I said the words, he was getting a haircut, she's like, oh, he was getting a haircut. So it was, I don't even have the
vasovagal.
Yeah, whatever you just said. So she's like, oh, that's what it was. And I'm like, the fucking kid gets a haircut the same way in the same position
all the time.
He fucking was able to stand.
Same person, same place. Yeah.
So that's not like, I don't know. To me, that wasn't really an answer. So
it wasn't like he was getting blood drawn or anything like that.
So it was like, okay, so that explains one thing. But what about how he's dizzy and he can't see straight? And what about how he has a 5 out of a 5 migraine? And what about how he couldn't breathe? Like how all of those things added up. So then she kind of got like snotty with me at the doctor. And she was like, what is it that I'm going to say to you that's going to make you feel rest assured that he's fine? She's like, you want me to admit him? I'll admit him. This is exactly what she said to me. I'm like, it's not, I'm like, I don't know what you're, and I'm like, I think you're taking it like wrong. I'm not trying to be like, listen, I'm glad you're telling me like they did an EKG and they ran blood. And I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Like when you ran blood, what does that mean? Like, what did you check for? And she's like, well, what do you mean? What did we check for? What are you looking for? I'm like, well,
you went to the fucking
right, exactly.
College
so I'm like,
of knowledge.
like
you fucking tell me.
And now I see like the nurse look at me weird, and she walks out. So I'm like, I don't know, like, oh no. Before she walked out, I was like, like the scary type thing, like the C word, like the word I don't want to fucking say in front of my son to scare him.
Yeah.
So she's like, we checked for cancers. He doesn't have any. It's showing negative for like the cancer readings or however the fuck they word it.
Yeah.
And leukemia, and she said cancer like 3 times, like right in front of, like, moron. I fucking said the C word.
Yeah, for a
purpose. Because I didn't want my 7-year-old to think he has fucking cancer, you asshole. Like, it's a fucking children's hospital. Like, what is wrong with you? So I was like, I would expect that maybe from like a regular hospital who doesn't specialize in children.
Yes.
So anyway, so she's like, well, you guys talk about it, and if you want to admit him, then we'll admit him. I'm like, oh, that was very helpful. Thank you. Yes. So now she walks out, and a few minutes later, the nurse walks back in. She's like, I'm really sorry. She's like, I had to walk out because she's like, sometimes the doctors just don't know how to speak to patients like they're humans. She's like, let me try and explain it to you a little bit better. And then like she explained it to me, and not that it made me feel better, but like I felt a little more at ease. But
it is, there are some doctors out there that just have horrible bedside manner.
But it's like, it was just, I think it was more frustrating to me because we specifically went out of our way to go to a children's hospital where we thought like it would be like they would be able to understand children more and be able to speak, like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're a child's doctor, you should be able to, I don't know, you should have a different like tone from a regular doctor. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. But anyway, so I was kind of like, what the fucky about her. But anyway, so he came home.
And God bless our nurses. They do so much more than the doctor sometimes.
Yes,
they really do.
I felt much better after I spoke with the nurse.
They do.
Mm-hmm. And so they told me to stop all of his migraine medicine. And I was the one, I was like, well, do you think that his migraine medicine could be doing it. And they're like, oh, well, the doctor says, well, what medicines is he on? Well, didn't they fucking ask me all that fucking information when I checked in? Like, why? What the fuck?
What was the point of the check-in?
So she's like, oh, yeah, I would stop those medicines. And I'm like, oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad I fucking asked. Thank you so fucking much. So now he's got to go back to the neurologist because he's still feeling dizzy. He still has the head. Now he's not getting treated for his migraines because we stopped the medicine. So it's been just a emotional shit show of a roller coaster.
I'm so sorry.
I feel bad for him because he's like in pain all day long. And he's saying he's dizzy and the things he's looking at are moving. And so now we have to go to a cardiologist and back to the neurologist. And thankfully, they were able to fit us all in this week. So we're only talking about a couple days since the ER. And
he obviously has had his eyes checked and everything.
I mean, they've done the eye test. I think when he went to the neurologist, he did whatever, I guess it is.
I would imagine they would have.
With the eyes. So, I don't know. And then I'm thinking, like, and I even said to them in the ER, I'm like, he says dizzy, and then like they do like this test where they make him touch like their hands, and he's able to do it fine. So I'm like, well, do you think it's possible that maybe he's mistaken the word dizzy for like something else? Like, isn't there like something like that you can like, I don't know, like word it like maybe differently to get out of him what?
Maybe he means like tired or
It's like, I mean, I don't really know what else he could mean by things are keep moving when he looks at them. Like I don't know. So I feel horrible for him.
Poor kid. And all you want to do is like when kids are sick or whatever it is and you can't fix them, you just want to like take their pain for them and like, be sick for them.
And then on the car ride, going to pick him up from my mom's house because he had slept at my mom's house because we went out for your birthday. So, and of course I'm like half in like tears thinking of like all the things that could possibly be wrong and like all those things that you might immediately think. And I'm like, and I'm so like when I yell at him and I'm feeling like shit, like for like yelling at him. And then I'm like, and then of course I get home and I'm telling him to get to fucking bed because now it's like 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday and I'm already losing my shit. I'm like, like I said, feeling bad didn't last for very long.
Well, I felt the same way when we lost Logan. Did I ever tell you when we lost Logan?
I think so.
To make a long story short. Did he leave that?
Was it one of the days he left the house? Or
Nope. So to make a really long story short, I was home. Tim was coming home from work. And the kids ran outside in the back to go play in the backyard. And we have like this big open backyard and there's 2 different playgrounds that they can go play on. One of them they don't really go on too much, but they ran out back and Tim walked through the door and I'm cooking dinner. And I'm like, hey, hon. I'm like, kids are out back, blah, 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 blah. And like Liam walks in to say hello to daddy. And I'm like, where's Logan? Little Logan. Oh, well, I thought he was outside. So I go outside looking for him. Can't find him. Come inside. Can't find him. Screaming his name. Logan. I mean,
I think I kind of remember this.
Going on and on and on, screaming for the kid. Okay. Again, I'm making this long story super short. Finally, I get to the point where I'm like, and my parents are away. They are not home. They're in New York. So, and they have a pond in the back of their house. So now my mind just automatically thinks negative. So I'm like, call the cops. So here I am on the phone with the cops, driving around the neighborhood looking for him. There's like a sewer in front of our house, kind of like, in between our house and the house next door. Right. There's a pond. I'm starting to think like horrible things. I'm like driving around the neighborhood, screaming his name. This goes on for a good 10 minutes. That feels like 10 hours.
Oh, of course.
And I'm on the phone with the police, like explaining what he was wearing, all that stuff, all that jazz. And I go in the house and I don't know what I was like, because Tim went upstairs and looked for him and said he's not upstairs. Something made me feel like, let me go back again upstairs and just look. I go upstairs. I saw shoes. And so the purpose of me bringing this up is as this is going on, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I feel horrible for all the times I've yelled at him. This is why I brought it up. I just, oh my God, if we get him, I'm never going to yell at him again. And I'm just going to hug him and love him to death and da 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 da.
Uh-huh.
That motherfucker, I found him underneath our